Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. Today, OpenAI accidentally hands hackers the keys to the crypto kingdom. Microsoft prove your AI assistant is getting stupider the longer you talk to it, and Tesla cuts the cord, literally. I am strapped in and ready to ride this innovation wave today. The timeline is just moving so fast.
And I'm already checking the emergency exits for the regulatory fallout. You see speed, and I see a vehicle with no brakes careening toward a cliff.
That is exactly what makes it fun. Let's jump right into the lead story, and honestly, this one feels like it's straight out of a movie plot. We are talking about weaponized AI and a very, very specific threat to the crypto world. There's this viral post from @OpenAI announcing something they're calling EVM Bench.
Right. And on the surface, this looks, pretty standard. It's a new benchmark. They co-developed it with Paradigm. The stated goal here is to test how well AI agents can detect, exploit, and patch smart contract vulnerabilities.
It's basically a stress test for the whole Ethereum engine.
Exactly. The engine that runs all those decentralized apps. But the details are what's so telling here.
That's where it gets really interesting. They released data on their new model, GPT 5.3 Codex. In an exploit mode, which is exactly what it sounds like, it hit a 72% success rate.
72%.
That is 6 times better than the last version, GPT-5.
Let's just pause on that number for a second. 72%. We're not talking about, writing a poem here. We're talking about an AI autonomously finding a hole in a financial contract and exploiting it. And that jump, 6 times more effective. That's not growth. That's a vertical takeoff.
Right. But the point is to fix the bugs, right? I mean, they mentioned patching in there as well.
Well, that's the whole problem, isn't it? The data shows that while the attack capabilities are accelerating, that's your 72% number, the detection and the patching, they're lagging way behind.
So it's easier to break the window than install a better lock.
It is significantly easier. And we're talking about an ecosystem with over $100 billion in crypto assets. So OpenAI has effectively just published a roadmap proving their own tools are becoming master burglars.
I see what you mean. It's like announcing, hey, we built a robot that can pick 72% of all safes, but the robot that stops the burglar is still in, beta testing?
Precisely. And this is why Greg Brockman, the co-founder of OpenAI, is getting grilled in the replies to his post. People are asking if this means they've stood up a new cybersecurity team.
And have they?
Well, they have this Trusted Access for Cyber initiative, but there's no confirmation of a dedicated team for this. So you have to ask, who's steering the ship? If you release a weapon, you better have the defense ready on day one.
It definitely raises the stakes. And, looking at those replies, people are worried about the intent. Is this a bug bounty tool or is it a weapon?
And that's the ambiguity that keeps security people up at night. If the offense is stronger than the defense, the market is just vulnerable, period.
Okay, speaking of financial systems, let's pivot from these digital threats to the actual plumbing of how money moves. Paul Graham came out with a massive endorsement for a company called Modern Treasury.
Yes, the old Stripe for moving money pitch.
Exactly. Graham describes it as the API for moving money in and out of companies. We're talking ACH, wires, FedNow, even stablecoins, all just handled through an API.
It is compelling. I mean, corporate banking is historically a nightmare if you've ever tried to integrate a legacy bank's backend. It's just painful. It's all CSV files and FTP servers.
A lot of hoping it works.
And a lot of prayer, yes. So streamlining that is valuable. But I have to play the cynic here. Is this actually efficient, or is it just another wrapper?
A wrapper? What do you mean? Like a pretty interface on top of the old clunky system?
Well, look at the margin. You've got the underlying rails, the Fed, the banks, and then you have Modern Treasury sitting on top. We saw this with Mercury, which is API-first banking. The real question is, are they adding real value, or are they just adding fees?
It's a convenience tax.
It's a convenience tax, and in this interest rate environment, those layers add up. It's great for a startup that wants to move fast, but for a scaled enterprise, I'm, a little skeptical on the unit economics.
That makes sense. But speaking of heavy-duty financial math, Google is trying to flex its muscles. Jeff Dean posted about something called Times FM.
This is Google trying to reclaim the smartest guy in the room title after taking a few hits.
Well, the claim is pretty bold. It's a 200 million parameter time series model trained on, get this, 100 billion data points.
What's a huge data set?
They say it beats statistical baselines like ARMA and can forecast financial trends zero shot. So you just point it at a chart and it predicts the next move.
It's an impressive piece of engineering for sure, but you have to look at the context here. Everyone is comparing this to DeepSeek AI right now. And while Google is winning on these pure math benchmarks, predicting the next number, DeepSeek is still crushing it on qualitative macro reasoning.
So one is a calculator, and the other is more of an analyst.
That is a great way to put it. The market for this stuff is fragmenting. You might use Google's model for technical analysis on a chart, but you'd use DeepSeek to understand why the market is moving because of, say, geopolitical news. We don't have one God model that does it all. Not yet.
Okay, moving from software to hardware. And this is a big one for anyone who just hates cables. Tesla got a huge win from the FCC. Sawyer Merritt broke the news.
Finally.
The FCC granted a waiver for ultra-wideband radio for the Cybercab.
We can stop plugging things in like it's 2010.
Exactly. This allows for wireless charging. The car just drives over a pad, uses these super short pulses, like under 150 milliseconds, to align itself perfectly, and it just starts charging.
It's a massive tech win. And frankly, it's essential for the whole robotaxi vision. I mean, you can't have an autonomous fleet if a human has to run out and plug in the car every few hours.
It kills the whole economic model.
It destroys it. But looking at the filing, there's a fascinating little detail in there that caught my eye.
What's that?
The astronomical sites safeguard. The waiver requires them to be careful about interference near radio astronomy sites.
Wait, like telescopes?
Exactly like telescopes. It's a reminder that our airwaves are incredibly crowded. If you have thousands of cars blasting these ultra-wideband pulses to align themselves, you generate a ton of noise. It's a regulatory win, sure, and it pumps the stock. But it highlights that rolling this out is about the infrastructure.
So cool tech, but the physical reality is messy.
As always, the atoms are always harder to move than the bits.
All right, let's shift gears to something that is worrying a lot of people in tech. We're calling it the brain drain. But it's not about people leaving. It's about the AI getting dumber.
This is the story of the day for me. This is the reality check that everybody needed.
There's this viral chart from Hassan Tour. He's discussing a paper from Microsoft and Salesforce. And the headline is just brutal. Top LLMs, we're talking GPT 4.1, Claude 3.7, suffer a 39% performance drop in multi-turn conversations.
This is that second order effect we always talk about. We get sold on these benchmarks where an AI answers one question perfectly.
Right, write me a poem. Solve this math problem.
Yeah. And it nails it. That's single-turn intelligence. But business doesn't happen in one turn. Coding definitely doesn't happen in one turn. You ask a follow-up, then another. Change this variable, update that function.
And that's where it all falls apart.
That's where it completely falls apart. The paper shows that unreliability spikes up to 112% as the conversation goes on. Think about that. It's not just forgetting, it's generating a flawed solution and then doubling down on it. It's guessing, getting confused, and then hallucinating to cover its tracks.
So if you're building a complex system and you're 20 prompts deep,
Yeah.
you might be building on a foundation of sand.
You're building on a foundation of confident lies. The model loses the logic but keeps the tone.
But contrast that with what people are actually doing. There's a post from Lavelcio, the indie hacker legend. He says he's coding directly in production with Claude Code. He loves the speed. He's literally asking, why wait?
This is terrifying. I mean, Lavelcio is brilliant, but this production cowboy mentality is so risky for the average developer.
Yeah.
You have this Microsoft paper telling us these models degrade over time.
They get stupider the longer you talk to them.
Yes. And then you have developers just deploying code live, skipping testing, trusting the AI completely. There's a great meme about this from @Badabooms humorously. It's just reckless. If the model makes one subtle error on turn 5 and you deploy it, you might not catch it until your database is corrupted.
It's the move fast and break things mantra on, like, hyperdrive.
It's an invitation for disaster, that's what it is.
Speaking of speed, let's talk about Flappy Bird. A user, Tester Labor, tried to build a clone with Grok 4.20.
The classic hello world for game dev.
And it worked. In seconds. On some platforms. But it failed on iOS.
The walled garden strikes again.
Yeah. It couldn't run because of Apple's Safari restrictions.
This connects all the dots perfectly. On one side, you have the brain drain. The AI struggles with complexity. On the other side, even when the AI does work, the platforms block it. Apple does not want an AI agent generating apps on the fly that bypass the App Store.
That's a great point. The capability is there, but the permission is denied.
This is the conflict for the next decade. AI agents versus platform monopolies. Grok can write the code, but if Apple won't let it run, it's just text on a screen.
That friction is where the next antitrust battles will be fought. Let's move to the creator economy, because the barriers there are just dissolving.
Yeah.
We saw a story from Business Barista about a guy, a one-man agency. He made 40 ads, 100 landing pages, booked 4 podcasts, and wrote 3 guest blogs in one day.
I saw this. He used Reddit to find customer pain points and then just automated the whole execution.
The leverage is just undeniable.
Is it efficiency or is it spam?
Oh, come on, it's productivity.
It's flooding the zone. If one person can generate 100 landing pages in a day, imagine what a dedicated spam farm can do. We are entering the era of AI slop. Just because you can create 40 ads doesn't mean they're good. The signal-to-noise ratio of the internet is just plummeting.
Well, the content is getting higher quality, though. Look at Lyria 3. This is Google and DeepMind's new music model. It can generate 30-second, high-fidelity tracks with vocals, lyrics, everything.
And this is where the artists start writing. And they should. We're seeing this high-fidelity output, sure. But where did the training data come from? The backlash is fierce. Artists are realizing they're being replaced by the very data they created.
The snake eating its own tail.
It is. The Ouroboros of the creative industry.
It's not just audio, it's visual, too. A user at Tetsuai used Grok 4.20 Heavy to build an entire alien ocean floor. No libraries, just a raw GLSL shader.
I looked at that code. It's deeply impressive. It's literally math creating art.
The barrier to entry for world building is gone. That's the quote. You just describe the ocean, and the AI renders it.
It is technically amazing, but let me counter this hype with a little reality check from Zillow.
Zillow, the real estate app.
Yes, they partnered with Google's Notebook LM to make these AI guides for home buyers. And a Spanish-speaking user pointed out the guide was full of spelling errors and, more importantly, flawed geographic data.
Ouch, that is not good.
Think about that. We're trusting AI to build alien oceans, which is fine. Nobody knows what an alien ocean looks like. But we're also trusting it to guide us through the biggest financial purchase of our lives, and it doesn't even know the geography. Hallucinations in a game are a glitch. Hallucinations in a real estate contract, that's a lawsuit.
That is a sobering distinction. It's fun in games until you buy a house in a swamp the AI said was a park.
Exactly. The stakes really matter.
This brings us to our final segment, and it's a battle for the narrative itself, the war for truth. We've got some numbers on Grokopedia versus Wikipedia.
And the numbers are startling.
Yeah, Grokopedia unique visitors are up 61.82% month over month, according to edXFreeze. That is exponential growth.
It is. It shows a real hunger for something different.
People are clearly looking for an alternative.
Or they're just curious about the train wreck. Depends on who you ask.
Well, Jimmy Wales, the founder of Wikipedia, certainly has an opinion. He called Grokopedia a ridiculous idea that will fail because it lacks fact-checking. He's defending Wikipedia's, neutrality.
And this is the classic ideology clash. You have Wales defending the consensus model neutrality through community edits. Then you have Elon Musk, who replied via at Mars University X, arguing for being real.
Right. Musk's point is, if you're constantly filtering yourself, you're not being real.
But being real in an AI context often just means bypassing safety filters. The critique of Wikipedia is that it's wokepedia, too left, too sanitized. The critique of Grokopedia is it's leaning too far right, with people finding scientifically dubious claims about things like the AIDS epidemic.
So we're moving from a single source of truth to chosen truths.
We are bifurcating reality. You choose your AI, you choose your facts. You want consensus reality, you go to Wikipedia. You want unfiltered reality, which might include conspiracies, you go to Grokopedia. That common ground is just vanishing.
And that leads us to maybe the most profound quote of the day from Mark Andreessen.
Yeah, this one really stuck with me.
He said, "Marginal cost of arguing is going to zero."
That stopped me in my tracks.
What does that actually mean for society?
It means we are entering an era of infinite automated conflict. Andreessen was talking about HR complaints, but just apply it to everything. If I can use an AI agent to write a 50-page rebuttal to your tweet, and you can use one to write a counter-rebuttal, the cost of generating grievance is now zero.
It used to take energy to argue. Now it just takes a prompt.
Exactly. We aren't just automating code or art. We're automating arguments. We were building machines designed to fight with each other forever. Imagine an HR department flooded with millions of AI-generated complaints. It just freezes the system.
It's incredibly dystopian. It's like a denial-of-service attack on society itself.
It's the ultimate filibuster.
So, on that cheerful thought, what does this all mean for tomorrow? Let's wrap with our predictions. I'm going to stay optimistic.
Let's hear it.
Based on those Glimmer AR specs we saw from Google via @CodeByPoonam, I'm predicting a massive rush of Invisible AR interfaces.
Hmm.
I think we're going to see screens just disappearing. Within 12 months, the phone in your hand is going to feel obsolete.
And I'm going to stay in my lane, the cynic's lane. I'm looking at that OpenAI benchmark, that 72% exploit rate. My prediction is we are going to see a major smart contract hack executed entirely by an AI agent, probably within the next quarter. And the fallout. It will force the SEC to regulate AI developers as financial advisors.
Wow. Regulating code as a financial advisor.
Think about it. If your code executes the trade, you're the broker. If the agent makes the decision, the developer is liable. That is the regulatory earthquake that is coming.
That would change everything. Well, keep your vibes high and your latency low.
And check your smart contracts before the agents do.